the final thing I want to talk about is constructors. So it is good to have getters and setters for variables that you want to be accessible outside of the class. Hence why these are public, these are private. If you need to, say, get the name of a dog, you need to have a getter and setter. When you create an instance of the dog class, however, you probably don't want to have a set name dog, or set name Novo, set age 1, set color white, set breed husky. You probably don't want to have to do all of that. It'd be much nicer if you could just pass it in as parameters when you create a new dog. Well, that's also known as a constructor. So to create a constructor, it's relatively straightforward. All you do is public, and then you give it the name of the actual class, dogs. You give it the name of the class, and you do that. This is known as a constructor. It's an empty constructor. It's redundant. Compiler generates the same by default. But with an empty constructor, you can set certain things. You can say this dot name is equal to new dog. This dot age is equal to 1. This dot color is equal to white. This dot breed is equal to, actually, instead of saying new dog, I will just say good dog. White will be pretty color. Breed will be awesome doggo. Awesome doggo. And, well, behavior we already set to nice, so we don't actually need to override it there. We could say this.behavior is equal to nice, but we already set the default there. So this is a default constructor. So when we actually run this, and let me go ahead and say I don't set Tayu's name. So when I run this, notice I don't need to change anything else. Now notice I get for the object named Tayu, I get dog's name is good dog because that's what I set up there. I can overwrite it after the fact by saying that we're going to set his name to Tayu, and that works. Now, this is the default constructor. So anytime that you create an instance of a dog, and you say new dog, or new dogs, in this case, because I put an S there. Why I put an S there? I don't know, but anyway, when you do that, then it's going to call this section of the code and populate all of these variables here with these values. Now what if you want to pass in set values? Let's say that I already know what Tayu's color, age, breed, and everything else are. So I can go ahead and create another constructor, public dogs. And in here, instead of being an empty list of, or an empty parameter list, I can go ahead and create a list of parameters that I want. So I want string name, string, well, uint age, string color, string breed, and I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that. So now when I call a constructor, I am overloading the constructor. I have two different constructors. I have a constructor which does not take any parameters, and I have a constructor which takes in 4 parameters. And now here, I'll just do the same thing. This dot name is equal to name. This dot age is equal to age. This dot color is equal to color. And this dot breed is equal to breed. So this is very much the same as your setter. Notice that we did this dot name is equal to name, which is passed in. The only difference is, well, this is going to happen only when the object is created. So if I go down here, these are still going to use my other constructor, the default constructor. So nothing changes here. Notice I still get all of that. Let me go ahead and add in another dog. So I can go ahead and say dogs and soda is equal to new dogs, parentheses, and now I have some options I can actually do. I can go ahead and give it a name, soda. Because these are all required parameters, now I have to actually give it the 4 parameters that I'm expecting. So the next one is going to be her age, 6 years old. The next one is going to be her color. So she is orange. And the final one is going to be her breed, Shiba Inu. So now when I create an instance of dogs, I can give it a list of all of those parameters. And now I can go ahead and say console.writeLine. And I'm lazy, I'm just going to copy this. And I'm going to change this Taiyu to Soda. So now if I run this, notice that the dog's name is Soda because when I constructed this instance of dogs, I told it all those parameters, which goes back to this constructor here. This sets all of those member variables. And so when I get the name, it's going to just return whatever is attached to that particular object. So these are the 2 different types of constructors you can create. And in fact, you can create a constructor which only takes in a couple of these parameters. You can also create a constructor which takes in optional parameters. So let's say breed is set to a default. So we can go ahead and go up here and string breed is equal to, what did I say? I said awesome doggo. Awesome doggo. So now I do not have to include this breed there because it is an optional parameter, and everything will run just fine. If I want to see what breed is set for each of these dogs, well, all I need to do is just have a getter. Public string get breed, return this dot breed. And so now when I do this, I can go ahead and console.writeLine. This dog's breed is soda.getBreed. And this will say awesome doggo for her. Or I can change this to say Shiba Inu. And now it will actually set that value there and it will get it from the object.